Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from YouTube, Facebook, wherever, subscribers, viewers of this video here. This is Bill Mack once again with another edition of Pro Wrestling Unleashed. Thanks for joining for this video, folks. My video today is one for the upcoming WWE Raw-based pay-per-view. It is called Great Balls of Fire. Yes, that is not a misprint. That is the actual name of this Raw pay-per-view. It looks to be a pretty decent pay-per-view. We hope Raw puts on a really good one this time as we get on the road to SummerSlam, so to say. This is my video here where I give you my winners or who my opinions are, my predictions of who I think will win and why. So hope you enjoyed the video, and let's just jump right on into it. First, we have, and more than likely, this is going to be on the kickoff show. As of right now, I'm not sure. But, as you can see, Great Balls of Fire kickoff, of course. As you see right here in the video. Neville is taking on Takura Tozawa. Let's say pronounce his name. Remember, now he is now a part of the Titus brand. Neville's been unstoppable and one unstoppable force since he won the title late last year, and nobody has seemed to be able to defeat him. Even Austin Aries, who I thought had a great feud, and who I thought really, and I predicted in my video when he faced Neville was going to win, but he didn't. So I see no reason unless Titus somehow comes into the match to interfere in the match with Neville. I'm going to say Neville's going to retain just out for that sheer basis because, he and Tozawa have been basically back and forth with each other off and on throughout the rivalries that Neville has been in. I'm going to stay with Neville for this one, and I'm going to say he's going to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. So my first choice will be Neville retaining his WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Oh, oops. Thought I hit that one. Now, this is an interesting matchup, folks. As we have seen, this is Enzo Amore taking on Big Cass. We've seen a few weeks back the split up of these two. They really were a lackluster tag team coming in from NXT. You saw big hopes for them. A lot of people compared them and said, hey, they're the new age outlaws of this era, but it just seemed never to fall that way. They never seemed to be really in the title picture. There was a couple times they got to push it. I think their most logical chance would have been at right before WrestleMania, but as we know, the Hardys came back and they ended up getting that shot and winning the WWE Raw Tag Team titles. So Vince is very high on Big Cass. You see a lot of downs to Enzo Amore. He can talk, but he just gets flat in the ring. And he's had some bad reputation in NXT from some of their trainers and stuff and promo guys and all. So I look for this kind of to be the tying up the ends of this friendship. Enzo looked emotionally upset over this. Big Cass is just like, you're holding me back. I'm going to go forward, and I'm not going to let you hold me back any further. I want to be the star. So I'm going to say Big Cass is going to win just because of his size and athleticism. And Enzo, I don't see Enzo taking him, really too far in this matchup. I just see Big Cass as a big dominant. He'll dominate in this matchup, and this will be the one-off, and they'll go their own ways after this. So my choice will be Big Cass winning this matchup. Moving right along. This is a 30-minute Iron Man match, tag team matchup for the Raw Tag Team Championships. We've seen this rivalry between the current Raw Tag Team Champions. You got Sheamus and Cesaro taking on the Hardys, who lost the belts to Sheamus after Sheamus and Cesaro had a heel turn basically at the last pay-per-view. And we've seen a lot going on, and I just feel as if I don't see the Hardys winning them back this soon and giving Sheamus. So I think the whole broken gimmick is going to be coming into play here pretty soon. I'm predicting that. So I think another loss will kind of push them towards that. So my decisions, I think that somehow being the heels. Somehow Sheamus and Cesaro will remain tag team champions, and this just sets the Hardys back a little bit more. Hopefully for the broken gimmick if they choose to do that. So my decision will be Sheamus and Cesaro retaining their WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. All right. Up next is be very interesting. This is the Raw Women's Championship between Alexa Bliss, who has been your Raw Women's Champion. You also have the winner, number one contender, which is Sasha Banks. You remember she won over Nia Jax in the Gauntlet match a couple weeks back. She is the number one contender. Sasha may get it, but Alexa's been too hot on the mic. I think maybe somehow Alexa's going to win because I'm seeing Nia Jax somewhere in there. Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss have been at each other. Plus two, Sasha defeated Nia Jax. So it could go. This is kind of a coin flip, but I'm going to stay with Alexa Bliss keeping her Raw Women's Tag Team, the Raw Women's Championship. So stay at Alexa Bliss, staying with the champion so far, as in retaining. So moving right along. This has been a good feud here between Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt has good feuds with wrestlers. He just never has that ability to close out a pay-per-view. And I'm going to go and say this continues. I'm going to choose Seth Rollins over just to get the upper hand in it. I feel bad for Bray Wyatt because Bray Wyatt can put on a good feud, but they never seem to let him come through when it comes time for a pay-per-view to get the win. Feud will be great. He'll talk on the mic. It'll be good ring work. But when it comes down to the pay-per-view, he never finishes through, whether it's creative or whatever reason. He never gets that win. So I'm going to stick with Seth Rollins getting the win in this matchup. Now, our matchup now is for the Intercontinental title. We've seen The Miz with Maurice and The Miz Taraj taking on Dean Ambrose. This has been a long-standing feud for well over a year or two. Whether it started on SmackDown, it's on Raw now. The Miz is really upset. He's tried his very best to explain just how important the Intercontinental title is to him, how he feels like he is giving it that prestige that it so richly deserves. He feels that Ambrose is a joke. He doesn't really take it seriously. He'd rather get more jokes than stay focused. He said a lot of stuff that has been gripes behind the scenes about Dean Ambrose. He's kind of brought that reality based into his promos. And then in Dean Ambrose, I see with the number stacked against Dean Ambrose, I'm going to stick with Miz retaining his championship because he's got three other people in his corner. Maurice, we know she's always been there to help him, and now you've got Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas in his corner as well for the Miz Taraj. Look for them to have a part in this, and I'm going to say Miz is going to retain his championship. So before we get into our next set of matchups, we're going to take a quick pause here, and I'll be right back. So just hold tight. Thanks for rejoining me, folks, and we are back here, and we're going to move right along with these predictions. Up next, this has been one that we have looked for a while now. If you're a Roman Reigns fan, or like everybody else on the planet, you're a Braun Strowman, you're going for him in this matchup. This has been a long-standing feud as well, which I have enjoyed so much seeing Braun because both of these guys have been hurt at certain points that it really just hasn't had one big ending, which I kind of like a feud that maybe goes away a little bit then comes back. But this feud here between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman has now really came out to where this is an ambulance match. And of course, if you know the stipulations of an ambulance match, you have to render your opponent unconscious. You have to put him in the back of the ambulance and drive it out of the arena or past the line, I think is what it is. It used to be past a certain line, but it may be past out of the arena. And winners of this, as we've seen, these guys have been tit for tat for each other. Braun Strowman has come in victorious and on top in some Raws, and we've seen Roman Reigns show up. So it's been kind of a coin flip. I've liked Braun Strowman all along. I think this has been a great feud. I don't know if this is going to be the end of it or not, but I do look forward to watching this matchup. And I love Braun. Braun says, "I'm Roman. I'm not finished with you yet," and he just grabs him just out of nowhere. You're just worried that no matter where Roman's at, he could be eating at a restaurant, and Braun's going to catch him and tell him he's not through with him yet, and just throw him over the top. But it looks to be a cool. I'm going to say, of course, folks, as much as I like Braun and want to see Braun go, WWE's and Vince is going to make Roman Reigns look strong. Maybe something will happen in the match where he'll try to protect Braun Strowman, because Braun has built himself up to be a monster. Now, after this matchup, if he goes and has another feud, I hope it's they keep him strong like he is and make him a top heel, because he is an awesome heel on Raw. He is the biggest heel on Raw, if you call him that, especially against Roman Reigns. But I'm going to say Roman Reigns is going to win. I don't see Roman losing and then turn around at SummerSlam, because it's announced at SummerSlam. Basically, Roman's going to challenge Brock for the title. So that kind of tells you the foreshadowing of what's going to happen with some of my picks. So in this matchup, sad to say, I think that Roman Reigns is going to end up winning this matchup against Braun Strowman. Which basically leads us to should be the main event of the night. Now, folks, I will say this, spend a couple minutes talking on this. I have enjoyed this. If Samoa Joe does not get somehow into the main event at SummerSlam, I don't know what to do, because the way these guys have been back, and Joe has been a monster. He's not very tall, but this man is built like a monster. I mean, if you've seen him going after Brock time and time again, I've never seen somebody more aggressive towards Brock. Now, Goldberg matched up well with Brock, and they were two big mammoth guys against each other. But to see someone like Samoa Joe go after Brock time and time, whether it was the Coquina Clutch he did on Heyman, then he did it on Brock again, and then we seen this past week where he got upset and Brock was making light of it. And Joe said, "Look, I'm not the one you can make light of. We need to do this now. You're laughing at it." Takes the stuff off and tries to go find, and he gets a ton of security and refs to keep Samoa Joe from going after Brock. Now, folks, I'm going to say this. This is a one-and-done thing. Samoa Joe is not going to win this matchup. Brock is supposed to retain his title. A lot of people and buzz over the internet was, should Samoa Joe win? Yes, I do, because I think if they let Brock have a good match and Brock has a match instead of 50 suplexes, this will be an awesome match, because Joe can put on a good match. That is no doubt from his time in GFW Impact Wrestling, which I got that name out, and then Ring of Honor and NXT and now WWE. He can put on a good match. But I'd look to see him hopefully getting interjected somehow in the SummerSlam main event. But I'm going to get Brock here. Brock is going to win, but I hope this is a really good match. And put this on, and I'm putting this, I'm saying this right now, is I really hope this is a really good main event. I hope they let him put on a show. Joe can. It's just what is Brock wanting to do? What is Brock able to do? So Joe's a very physical guy. He's right up there with Brock. So I'm going to stay with Brock to win and to end up retaining his Universal Championship. So those are my picks for WWE Great Balls of Fire. I hope you folks have enjoyed it. Drop a like if you like this video. Leave a comment in the comments below if you have anything you might want to add to it. Also, subscribe to my videos, folks. I try to pump out wrestling videos as much as I can. I know there's a ton of them out there, but I try to give you my opinions, my thoughts on them, and try to be as quick as I can about it, and try to drag a video out. I want it to be to where I'm satisfied with giving you folks and that you get something out of it. So when you go to my page, like I said, subscribe to my channel, and my social media is in the description here. And until next time, and until my next video, this is Bill Mack here with Pro Wrestling Unleashed saying, take it easy.